never gives up, he's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe is there!
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose? To defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe!
Hello everyone, good morning, Mac here. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons, and we are back into it with the G.I. Joe Classified series. A few of my orders came in, and what we have today is our G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Infantry Soldier. Now this is not the Cobra Island exclusive, this is the one that was released for the general retail public. The Cobra Island exclusive was only through Target. Why they make the Army Builders exclusives, I will never understand, but luckily they reissued the Cobra Soldier, the Cobra Infantry Soldier, as a general release. So that's what we have here today. And as an Army Builder, this was probably the most popular Cobra figure when I was a kid. Everybody had at least 3 or 4 of these things. Plus, they came with other vehicles and different paint schemes. There was that gray one that came with the Stinger Jeep. But we'll talk. That's neither here nor there. So what we have is our standard packaging for the G.I. Joe Classified series. You see some really nice artwork down here of the soldier with a HISS tank in back. On the side, we have another decent look at him with some more troopers down here. We have that same collage on the back, which there's a soldier. Is that the only one? No, that's a Techno Viper. That's not even an infantry soldier. I don't think we have an infantry soldier back here. We have Alley Vipers, we have Techno Vipers, we have the Ninja. Huh. On the side, we have those symbols, number 24. Up front, again, obviously the window with the window up top. So, that is the packaging. Has not changed, except for this piece of artwork down here. So let's not waste any more time with this. Let's get this guy open, and we will take a look at G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Infantry. Okay, friends, here he is, our Cobra Trooper, or rather our Cobra Infantry, out of the box. And the first thing we will do is we will set up the tape measure. We will see how tall he is compared to the other ones. If he stands true to what the rest of the line has been, he should be coming in at about 6 1/4, 6.5 inches tall. And putting the tape measure to him, we see that at the top of his head, get his head straight, we see at the top of his head, he comes in at just a little over 6 1/4 inches tall. So that puts him right in line with the rest of our G.I. Joe Classified collection. So now we take a look at his articulation. His head does a full 360. It doesn't do much of a side-to-side tilt, but he can look down a little bit. He can look up. His arms come out to the sides. He has full 360 rotation at the shoulder, as well as a butterfly hinge, bicep swivel. Let me get that bicep swivel right there. He has double-jointed elbows with some really good travel to them. He has a wrist pivot. And this wrist, I don't know why these are different. This wrist goes up and down, and this wrist goes in and out. But because of how deep his wrist sockets are, and because of the armor on his wrists, they don't really pivot very easily. Now, underneath his armor, he does have a nab crunch. You can't see it, but underneath that vest there is one. So he can pitch forward. He can pitch back. He has a waist twist. Get your arms out of the way. He has drop-down legs that can do a full split. Legs go forward. Not so much back. He has a thigh swivel. He has double-jointed knees with some really good travel to them. A boot cut. Ankle rock. As well as back and forth. So he has all of the standard articulation that we've come to expect from the G.I. Joe Classified series. And he has a really good look to him, I feel. I feel that, like Destro, like I said with Destro, and even with Cobra Commander, that this is a very accurate representation of the original 3 3/4 figure that came out with the vintage line. I feel like this could be that 3 3/4 inch figure all grown up into a 6-inch figure. I really like how this guy looks. And we're going to take a look at the face sculpt, because they also they did something different with his mask here that we can take a look and see that if you take a good look, it's not just a cloth mask like the original Cobra Trooper was, that it is metal. It looks like it could be some sort of respirator, like a gas mask, and I think that is really cool that it has a function other than just keeping the person's identity a secret, other than just hiding his face. And what we can see of his face, I really, really like what they did with the face sculpt on this guy. With the furrowed brow and the intense look, the tan skin, like, he looks even... There's a lot being said through those eyes that this is definitely a soldier. This is definitely a man of action. He is definitely ready to jump into battle. And that's really good for a figure like this. Now, the main differences between this, the Cobra Infantry, and the Cobra Island Trooper that was the Target exclusive, the paint deco, the sculpt, everything about this figure I think is exactly the same from the Cobra Trooper. I think where the differences lie are basically in the accessories that we get with each individual figure. And we're going to take a look at some of those accessories right now. And the first thing we're going to look at is his helmet here. That this is very typical of the Cobra Infantry helmets. I always liked the look of the Cobra helmets. I'm sure it is no coincidence that having come out in the 80s that the helmet resembles Vader's helmet. Remember, in the 80s, Hasbro didn't have Star Wars, they had G.I. Joe, Kenner had Star Wars, and G.I. Joe was basically competing with Star Wars. So like I said, I don't think it's a mistake or it's coincidence that this looks like Vader's helmet. But more when you put it on the figure, our trooper, our infantry, looks complete right now. I mean, look at the way it changes his silhouette. Look at the way it changes his profile. This is a Cobra Trooper, and this figure is just so in line with the vintage one. Like, I know I'm going to be gushing about that a lot during this review. And there may be some bias in this review, I will freely admit, but this just looks so good. So good, like the ones that I had growing up. And I had a lot of Cobra Troopers. Like, it was the first time I ever legitimately army built anything. So much to the point that I have this one. I may be buying more, I'm not sure. But let's take a look at the rest of his accessories. Next up, like all G.I. Joe Classified, he comes with this knife. This is a very small knife. I'm actually surprised at how small this is. It's so small that it doesn't really fit well into either of his hands, that it can kind of fall out. But it goes right here in his shoulder, or in his chest harness right there. Whoop, that's backwards. Goes in like that. There we go. Something else that he has, let's stand him back up. Something else that he has are these two pistols. Now this is where it starts to get a little Fortnite. Because like I've said with Duke, like I said, especially with Roadblock, Hasbro seems to have a problem with issuing real-world weapons with these figures, which I don't understand, because if you pick up the Punisher, there are plenty of Marvel Legends figures that have real-world weapons on them. But these are laser guns. There's no other way to describe it. These are laser guns, and he has two of them for dual wielding, and he can outfit both of them. That one goes right here in his vest harness, and the other one comes around back and holsters right there. So he has two holsters for two pistols. You can even see his little Cobra insignia right there on his holster. I like that. And then finally, he has this. This is his main weapon. This is his rifle. And looking at it, I am reminded of basically the laser rifle that we got with Duke. This is a laser rifle as well. This is another energy weapon. This is another fictitious weapon. Now it has this peg on the side here. And what I think this is for, if you turn around and you look at the back of the infantry trooper's vest, he has the same peg hole that all of the G.I. Joe Classified figures have, but he also has these two holes down here on his harness. And I think that is that you can just peg it right in, like that, so that when he's standing there, it looks like he has it shoulder slung. And I like that. I like that he can be outfitted with all of his weapons, but he doesn't have to be holding all of his weapons. I think that is really cool, and I would love to see something like that more with the other figures coming down the line, that they can just holster and sheathe all of their weapons without actually having to hold them in the hands, because then this also lets you display the figure with all of his accessories and not put any stress on the hands that he has to be holding something all the time. I've recently run into that with my Snake Eyes figure, that I had him holding his Uzi the whole time, and now when I take the Uzi out and I put the sword in, the sword is very loose in his grip because his hand has expanded a little bit around the Uzi holster. Now you'll notice he had two pegs, he has two peg holes back here, and that is because the Cobra Island Trooper, the Target exclusive, came with two rifles. This and a longer one that I think would have been something like a sniper rifle. So I'm guessing that he was able to peg in both rifles on the harness at the same time. Another accessory that the Cobra Island Trooper had that this doesn't have, if you take the helmet off, the Cobra Trooper had a set of goggles that you could put on top. I don't really mind not having those, because I can't imagine not displaying this figure and posing him with his helmet on. Like, it's cool that he can take it off, and it's cool that he can hold it, and he can be displayed carrying it, but who's really going to display the Trooper, unless you have more than one, without his signature helmet on? Something else that the Cobra Island exclusive came with, I don't know what the third item was. It was something like an armband or something. So basically, that is the difference between the Cobra Infantry and the Cobra Island Trooper, is the accessories. Other than that, as far as I know, it's the same body mold, it's the same sculpt, it's the same paint deco, everything is the same, just different accessories, which I'm not really that upset about, because truthfully, I'm going to be taking this off of him, and I'm going to be getting some third-party 6-inch scale weapons, like AK-47s, 45s, M16s, things like that. I'm still trying to find a 6-inch scale mod Deuce for Roadblock, but I found some third-party weapon accessories packs that I'm going to get to start re-outfitting the Joes, and maybe I'll put those in some shorts once I start re-outfitting them, and you can see what they look like with more modern weapons. So that is our Cobra Infantry. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this figure. As simple as it is, this probably is one of my favorite figures in the line so far, just because of how much of a callback it is to the original figure, because of how good he looks, because of how true he is to the original figure. Like, I can't stop gushing about this figure. I can't stop looking at this figure and loving this figure. That I probably am going to get two or three more of these to outfit an army build and just have like a little security team around Cobra Commander. And God help me when they finally release the Crimson Guards. So I do hope you enjoyed this one. This is definitely a nod to the fact that the G.I. Joe classified figures after the first wave are starting to look more like their vintage figures. We saw that with Destro, we saw that with Cobra Commander, we see that with the infantry figure, and we'll see that with Zartan, another one that I just got in that we'll be taking a look at down the line. So until we take a look at that one, play well everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.
We'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe.